Good afternoon, everyone. The title of my presentation is A Study Towards the Origin of the Terracotta Decoration of the Mosque Architecture in Bengal, an analysis based on shape grammar principles. Before proceed to the talk, I think it is important to share why I was interested in this research. I am an architect from Bangladesh. My co-author is also an architect. Apart from being a practicing architect, I am also an academic. I teach architecture in an architecture school in Bangladesh. In spring 2019 semester, we conducted a studio project named Design of a Mosque Complex. During the design process of this project, we faced numerous challenges, and being the instructors, we have been asked a lot of questions from our students that how a mosque should look like. That was a very thought-provocative questions for the students as well as for the tutors, that how a mosque would reflect and the culture and context of its origin. From that realm of inquiry, we studied mosques from around the world, and we have seen that there is no single grammar or no basic character of designing a mosque. As you can see, there are some prominent characteristics commonly seen in the mosques from around the world. So is it the arches which can characterize a mosque, or is it minaret, or is it domes, or is it ornamentations which characterizes the architecture of a mosque? As you can see, there are two very recent contemporary mosques, award-winning mosque design from Bangladesh, where none of those features have been built. So again, the question was, what are the elements of mosque design and how a mosque would reflect the culture and context of it? So apart from the spirituality, functionality and climate, we must address the tradition, culture and context of the architecture where it belongs to. So then we proceed to this research, and we looked at the archetype of the architecture of Bangladesh. And here is a map of Bangladesh where you can see it is an extremely riverine country. This is another photograph depicting the general landscape of Bangladesh. The land of this delta has been formed from the siltation, and mud is the most popular building material in the vernacular architecture of Bangladesh. As you can see, this is the crafting of mud, people making potteries out of mud, and from mud there is a very unique type of characteristics that has been developed in the design of ancient mosques in Bengal, which we call terracotta. Which is kind of mud burnt clay brick tiles. This is the Rajbari Mosque, one of the very ancient mosques from Bengal, where you can see the rich facade detailing of terracotta design. I'll go through a quick video and I'll try to depict the fabulous ornamentation of terracotta design in the context of Bangladesh. As you can see, very unique, significant and beautiful characteristics of terracotta in different mosques. Have seen, these terracotta patterns are the cultural heritage of Bangladesh. It has a history of over 1,000 years. So we started to think about whether we can reuse or replicate these patterns in the design of contemporary mosques. From that notion, at first we wanted to look at the background of this terracotta art and how we studied how the slum has been flourished in this region. Surprisingly, we have seen that terracotta has also been used in the temples of Bangladesh. And however, the basic difference in the temples, there are figurative terracotta patterns, and in the mosques the patterns are floral and geometric. Unfortunately, I have to skip some slides because we are running out of time. What we did, the intention with this research was how we would replicate, reuse, and how we would be inspired by these cultural design patterns. We found that in the context of Bangladesh, the history of mosque architecture has not been studied very widely. We haven't got a very strong link between the terracotta patterns and their influences from other regions. Therefore, we have gone through different type of analysis, and we tried to define terracotta by the geometric shape analysis, which is known as shape grammar. From shape grammar analysis, we want to develop a rule. Just a short brief: shape grammar is the geometric analysis, a simplified geometric analysis of shapes, which can help to identify the characteristic of any pattern. This is an example of shape grammar analysis of a pattern. Another example: from the plan, this rule has been developed and that has been replicated, that you can see in this slide. For analysis of terracotta, we selected 3 patterns. We just tried to understand whether it can be explained through shape grammar analysis. Due to the time constraint, I can't go through in details. Yes, we were able to develop rules for the terracotta patterns. These patterns can be geometrically explained and can be simplified. I think if you are interested, you can find more details in the proceedings published for this conference. I'll go through quickly as an example how we have synthesized the patterns. As you can see, the coordinates has been divided and a rule has been developed. Through the shape grammar, we have been already able to identify the rule of the terracotta decoration used in the mosque architecture in Bengal, so it would be possible to reuse these patterns very meaningfully. This is a recently built contemporary mosque in Malaysia, where in the facade is a geometric screen design has been used. So how would an architect create this type of patterns if he was influenced by the cultural or traditional ornamentation of any other project from past or present? As long as we are able to develop a rule through the shape grammar of the terracotta design, it would be possible to reuse and replicate these patterns meaningfully, transform them to any new innovation through a shape grammar principle. This is all about my presentation. Thank you very much.